Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. The United States military uses advanced helicopters with vertical lift capability for various operations. Due to the changing nature of the battlefield, helicopters are now being used for both logistics and assault operations. Modern helicopters like the CH-47 Chinook and the Apache AH-64 are used for assault operations to provide ground support and to deploy troops on enemy territory. There are several methods of deploying soldiers on the battlefield, but the most effective of all is the airborne jump. To perform an airborne jump, the paratroopers inspect their equipment and form a line while hooking themselves to static tension ropes. As soon as the jump master gives a signal, the paratroopers step onto the open ramp one after another. An MC-6 parachute is deployed as soon as the paratroopers jump out of the aircraft, which helps them navigate their descent and land smoothly at the drop site. The nature of the deploying technique depends on the type of mission. When the drop site is unsuitable for an airborne jump, the United States military opts for a special purpose insertion and extraction system, SPY technique, for rapid deployment and extraction. During a SPY mission, the soldiers land on the drop site using ropes while the helicopter hovers steadily above the ground. Prior to the mission, the soldiers use hooks and clamps to secure the rope inside the helicopter's cabin. The U.S. military performs air assault operations using helicopters to insert soldiers on the battlefield. Initially, the helicopter arrives at the pickup zone, and the troops, along with their equipment, are loaded onto the helicopter. It then takes off and reaches the drop site, where the paratroopers use a rope to land on the ground. They rapidly assemble and perform their mission before commencing extraction operations. In most cases, the U.S. military performs insertion and extraction operations using the helicopter rope suspension technique, Hurst. During insertion, the soldiers attach to the rope using harnesses and wear gloves for a firm grip on the rope. The helicopter hovers steadily in the air at the drop zone, and the soldiers slide down the rope one after another. While sliding down the ropes, they completely rely on the grip of their hands and leg control to regulate their descent speed. The extraction is conducted in a similar fashion. The soldiers attach themselves to the rope, and the helicopter lifts them off the ground. The paratroopers are trained to master the Hurst technique during special purpose insertion and extraction, SPY, and fast rope insertion and extraction, FRY courses. The FRY and SPY course aims to teach how to insert and extract soldiers in restrictive and challenging terrains, specifically jungles. Rapid insertion and extraction of troops is not limited to the land. Since the advent of naval warfare, rapid insertion and extraction of troops from enemy territory has been difficult. However, this complexity was surmounted with the use of highly versatile helicopters. The United States Navy uses special techniques, such as helo casting, to conduct insertion and extraction of troops at sea. During such a demonstration, the Marines jumped into the water from a helicopter, moving 10 feet above the surface of the water. After jumping into the water, the Marines use flotation devices or flippers to stay afloat. This allows them to reach the area of operations without arousing too much suspicion. The Marines and sailors complete a 12-week basic reconnaissance course to learn the insertion and extraction techniques. The course is divided into 3 phases. During the first phase, the Marines focus on individual skills like running, obstacle courses, ocean swims with fins, and helicopter rope suspension training. The second phase focuses on small unit tactics and mission planning, whereas the third and final phase focuses on the maritime mission at the Naval Amphibious Base Coronado, California. During this phase, the Marines demonstrate their helo casting skills, which include jumping out of a helicopter, reaching the area of operations to perform mission objectives, and extraction. The Marines also showcase their side skills, like beach reconnaissance, nautical navigation, and boat operations. After diving into the water, the Marines are transported via a rigid inflatable boat, RIB, or fast assault craft, which allows them to maintain a low profile till they reach the mission location. In most cases, the Marines are provided with a Zodiac inflatable boat, which is dropped from a helicopter directly into the water. It is either dropped in a ready-to-operate configuration or in a waterproof bag, which is received by the Marines once they dive into the water. The Zodiac boat is fast, maneuverable, and easy to assemble, allowing the Marines to cruise to the target location easily without being detected by enemy forces. The paratroopers of the U.S. military undergo training at the Air Assault School to acquire the skills required for insertion and extraction missions. During this rigorous and fast-paced training, almost 15% of the class does not make it through the first day, also known as the 0 day. which includes a demanding obstacle course. The training comprises 3 distinct parts. The first phase is known as combat assault, which provides the soldiers with instructions regarding air assault operations. Phase 2 is known as sling load operations, which focuses on sling loading and handling the equipment. The students who show extreme physical capabilities during the first 2 phases make it to the final stage, known as the rappelling stage. During this stage, the soldiers conduct 2 rappels on the wall side of the school's 34-foot tower, 9 to 12 rappels from the open side, and 2 rappels from a helicopter, such as the UH-60 Black Hawk, hovering at approximately 27 feet. The soldiers also conduct all rappels without combat equipment to train for real-world scenarios, like if they somehow end up behind enemy lines without equipment. During the latter half of this phase, the soldiers demonstrate fast roping. They conduct a controlled descent and a static hold for 5 seconds from a 12-foot platform, as well as a 34-foot tower, both with and without combat equipment. Only about 45% of the class passes the training every time, and those who graduate are awarded an Air Assault Badge. As it is impossible to conduct assault operations in urban areas using fighter planes, modern helicopters are utilized for inner-city missions. Helicopters are highly maneuverable, which allows easy operations in restricted environments. Special Operation Forces, SFO, often conduct inner-city demonstrations using helicopters, such as deploying soldiers on rooftops, mid-air deployment, weaponry training, and many more. These demonstrations give the soldiers a clear picture of what air assault operations would look like in an urban hostile environment. The paratroopers also undergo nighttime insertion and extraction training, enhancing their capabilities and making them comfortable in navigating their parachutes and landing safely in the dark. On April 14, 2023, paratroopers jumped out of the CH-47 Chinook during a nocturnal air assault and simulated combat at the Yukon training area. They were able to deploy in harsh Arctic environments, which shows that not only the paratroopers of the US military are skilled enough to land during the night, but they are also tough and adaptive warriors who can conduct operations in harsh conditions anywhere in the world. Since World War II, the paratroopers have worn their wings with pride. However, in the modern era, air assault operations have revolutionized, which is why they are trained to conduct both large and small-scale air assault missions. Their vigorous training makes them physically and psychologically stronger, preparing them to counter anything thrown their way. The U.S. Armed Forces use a diverse range of insertion techniques, which showcase their readiness to tackle any mission, irrespective of the terrain and conditions, and provide a strategic advantage over enemies. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.